thing.
You said yeah.
The
and
SAM,
I hit the button.
we're calling that
Audio is on too.
the SAM method. Stream, audio, merge. Stream, audio, merge. SAM, SAM. All right, so let's go live on axradio.com. Good morning, everybody on axradio.com. We're going to go live on Facebook and YouTube.
YouTuber.
Like Mushmouth. YouTube.
YouTube.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go streaming. Not to be confused with streaking.
Please, no. I mean,
That's terrible. All right, attention, everybody. The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and/or their affiliate and subordinate ministries, excuse me, and/or nonprofits. So, without any further ado,
I do. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
so
Jana's already on.
she's on it.
She's on it. Get down.
Good morning. Coming to you live from Axe Television Network Studios here in the beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt and Jay.
On the cross you died for me, shed your blood for me, on Calvary.
Doing that like a musical.
So I can give myself to you.
It's a musical. The Morning Drive, the musical.
Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to try and do a musical move here. You ready for this, Jay?
Here we go.
Ready? Okay, wait a second.
Close the door, who I was before, and I see for the first time.
Wow, that was Broadway there.
Wasn't it? I'm telling you. I learned from the best. My son's a good actor.
Yeah. He taught
should-
you a lot.
You should hear us. You should hear us at the house when we're by ourselves. We just start doing all kinds of weird stuff. It's fun. It's fun. Anyways, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay.
That's me.
And Steve-O Mickey Mac, as always, in the studio with us today.
As
You're
always.
spoiling us, Steve.
Hey, it's a good spoil.
We're used to have, most people like the other Steve, which we miss Steve Schultz as well.
Yeah.
He would only come once a week, except for if he was in town or whatever. But and you come like almost every single day.
Yeah.
Actually, so far this week, you've came every day this week.
Yes. I made up for like last week.
That's like this is your you love the camaraderie, don't you?
Yeah, it has to wait. I have to get woke up somehow.
You know.
But why not get woke up with the Morning Drive
with Matt and Jay.
with Matt and Jay? +1.
Plus one.
All right.
I like
Wow,
that. Hey,
Everybody's
Matt
already
and Jay,
joined us. Or am I,
+1.
I
Am I
hope I
watching
didn't-
the live one? Yeah. Nice sweater, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Zibba, I like a data sweater. Zibba dabba deep. I can't do it.
Yabba dabba doo.
I guess impersonating Bill Cosby is not cool
We're
nowadays.
talking, but she can't hear us. So, Becky, can you hear us now?
Did you not have the
wasn't that
audio?
a commercial?
No, the audio's on.
Yeah.
And I've got the bars.
Huh. Yeah.
Everything's moving.
The bars are
Oh,
going.
and remember, I think
Is it your volume, Becky, on your computer?
All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna find.
there it is.
Hold on. Let's see what we got.
She said there it is.
Yep. Okay. Computer.
All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna find.
There it is.
Hold on. Let's see what we got.
She said there it is.
Good morning,
That's
Susan
it.
Burrows.
All right, so let's do. We need to
Morning,
actually.
Joe Katie.
You know what I want to do? I want to go ahead.
I forgot my coaster, but I do use it at home.
I think our volume on this needs to come up a hair. So.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, that was, yeah.
Good morning, Kara. I'm glad you joined.
Yeah.
Kara McIntyre.
Oh, my.
What is this song? Sorry, coffee.
And that wasn't it right into the microphone.
Coffee's kicking in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Coffee.
you know what? You have changed because earlier when I was here about 7:30,
I was like, what?
Yeah, and you were wearing a different shirt.
No.
no, he was
Yesterday.
wearing the same shirt.
Oh, yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday. Of course, I was wearing a different shirt.
Yeah, so you changed.
I hope so.
You changed.
Yeah, I did. So these things work
In the shower.
In
Nice.
the shower. I was really nervous
How do you
about
clean your ears?
I take them out
Oh,
and clean my ears.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good, Susan.
And then there's these things called Q-tips also that work really well.
Yeah.
Although doctors will tell you don't use Q-tips because they just shove earwax down in your ear hole.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
I think that some people do that, so they warn against it because they want.
There's something. So yeah. All right.
They want
So
you not
it
to
feels
do that.
really good to itch the inside of your ear hole.
Yeah.
You know, I know it sounds weird. I call it an ear hole, but it is an ear hole.
Yeah.
And
what
right
else do you
there,
call it?
Now you don't want to stick the Q-tip in too far because you'll puncture your brain. So, and some of us can't afford any kind of damage to our brain.
Right.
Not,
'cause
especially
brains
not
are
We've already
pretty
damaged it
important.
enough ourselves.
Yeah.
There's enough damage.
Anybody heard about what's going on in Iran?
Ooh, wow. 85 soldiers have now been killed.
So they've been bombing all for
I
how
don't know.
long?
Well, last
Missiles.
night, I got it from last night that 85 at this point, I don't know how many more
American soldiers.
American soldiers.
What about
And then
Iraqis?
severely wounded 24, I do believe.
Wow. Marcia and I are celebrating 9 years of friendship on Facebook.
Wow.
Good morning, Robin.
What? I didn't even know I'd been on Facebook
Morning,
for
Larry.
9 years.
Surprise.
I'm sharing it.
Hey, I've had some surprises myself. It's like, we've been together, we've been friends. Like Angie Turbird, we've been friends for a while.
Did you know Angie Terrybird was part of the Good News Band for a little bit?
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah, that's back before we stopped letting women be in the band.
Oh,
Just
no,
kidding, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Angie, just forgive him. if she's watching, forgive him.
Oh, well, her husband taught me a lot about guitars.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Oh,
not
yeah.
a lot, but
And he's a good singer and a guitarist.
He always said, Matt, if you ever want to be good at guitar, if you want to get better at the guitar, play with people who are better than you.
Hey, that's good advice there, Jerry.
I said, but there's hardly anybody better than me.
Did you say that?
And, I
Did
got to
you
find
actually
somebody
say
that's as humble as I am,
Did you
No, I
actually
did not actually say that. Come on. Does that sound like something I'd actually say? May
No.
sound
No.
like something that my
It does sound like something you'd say. In jest.
in jest. Yes,
I was just
in
going to
jest.
say, yeah, in a way, but you said it better.
Yeah, well,
Unless you've eaten a lot of chili or something, then it's indigest.
Big time.
If your friends indigest,
indigestion.
And then it goes out, it goes all the way.
what?
Oh, my.
Yeah, Jay's like, what have I
It's
got
going
myself into
downhill
today?
quick.
No, that's all right. It happens to the best of
Hey.
us.
It wouldn't be the morning drive otherwise.
People now, and on a serious note, really, I mean, what's going on in the Middle East right now is serious.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is.
very serious. Yeah.
I mean, we've been at war with Iran and Iraq, both.
Not actually at war. We've had conflict with them.
There's a-
Conflict.
th-
Well, we
there's a
invaded their
difference.
country and unseated their in Iraq. We unseated their their dictator.
Yeah.
So I would call that war.
In Iraq. Yes.
Yeah.
But now you got Iran. You want? In fact, I think I heard yesterday. In fact, I know I heard that if there's any retaliation, that they will throw missiles at Israel.
Okay, so Steve Schultz says you're late, and we're going to blame that on Jay because I mean it's not really his fault.
I got to
It's-
find a good source for news to hear about these things. To be in.
I've got the Epic Times newspaper that I get every month
And you
or every
did?
week.
And you did learn about Iran?
Not
'Cause
yet.
this
I'm
just
going to look and
happened.
see what's.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that
last
just
night.
happened last night. Yeah.
I was waiting, and I didn't stay up too late, but I was waiting for the president to come out with a statement about it.
Yeah, he did.
Now, Jana,
What time? After 10.
Oh, it wasn't after 10. It was earlier than that. I think it was in the early evening.
After 9? Oh, no, I meant after that.
all right. So, do we still have sound?
Susan Burrows said that she didn't hear us till now. So, and that was just a couple minutes ago.
Well, because I've got volume and everything on mine.
Yeah, I've got this.
So let's do this. Hold on. We're going to have an echo here for just a second.
so
Function.
yes, Fox News.
So I'm curious about whether or not. Okay, so you said so many men were killed, but the last I heard, most of those were Iraqi soldiers that were in the base with Americans.
Oh,
So I didn't know for sure what the
You know what happens when you watch Facebook and you listen to Facebook? A lot of times you get misinformation from.
Or Mr.
not-
or Mr.
or
information.
incomplete.
Yeah, most of it is like even the videos they're
Are
cut
they
and
still
they add a
firing?
narrative.
Oh, sorry. Are they still firing missiles?
They were yesterday,
I
and you know what? You know the weird thing about it is
I saw daytime and nighttime.
they used
launches.
missiles that Obama helped fund them to purchase.
Well, of course. Where
They
else
made
would
it
they
a
have
point.
gotten?
They made it a point to use those first, because they have those missiles because of us.
Yeah, the money was sent over.
What was it? $10 million or 10 billion? What was it? $10 million that they were given to purchase
Billion,
arms.
for
$10
sure.
billion.
I like what they said to Obama, though. You know, it's like,
Obama.
That was a plane full of cash.
Now, if you were watching the shows yesterday, if you happened to watch Something to Celebrate, there was a super awkward moment on Something to Celebrate,
yes, there
because
was.
they never talk about anything political on their show, ever.
Right.
So they said something about somebody looking for the Declaration of Independence or not being able to find the Declaration of
Having
Independence.
Nicolas Cage, it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh yeah, and he's still looking for the Declaration of Independence. I said that's all right. So are the Democrats.
Yeah.
And the look,
It was so awkward.
it looks good. Shoot.
Did you see them looking back and forth to one another like they didn't know what they were going to say? And hand me that sheet right there, if you would, please, sir.
That's why I think we should be concerned about political party, hardline
It
political
was
party thing.
well, I mean, first of all, it was a joke. You know,
Well, there are a lot of Christian Democrats who just
Yeah.
really want to find a way to be more generous and
and this is a noun. This was their word of the day, and I was able to reference this and save it, and actually make everybody laugh. Mammilapinatapi.
I was just gonna.
Mammilapinatapi.
Spell-
Mammilapinatapi. Okay, so
Sound it out.
it's a look shared by two people, each wishing that the other would initiate something they both desire, but which neither wants to begin. And they were looking at each other like neither one of them knew what to say. I said, "Hey, so this is exactly like that word you were talking about." And then they started laughing. And then I said, "Hey, everybody, this is Matt behind the desk here. I was the one that said that joke. It was just a joke. It's just a joke." You know what? If I have lots of Democratic friends or Democrat friends, and
So do I.
I have a Christian friend at work who's a hardcore Democrat,
all right, I'm trying to
And he's
catch
a
up on our
good man.
comments too.
and his political. I can understand his political perspective.
Larry Melton, that's awesome. He says, "What are you going to talk about today?" And then he said, "Some people did something."
What person or what people are you talking about?
Jana Hale says, "Yes, it does." I can't remember what she was what we were saying. When
Steve,
response to that. Nick Sibley is good gut fire player.
Jana just.
Guitar player.
Jana just said, "I watch you guys almost every day. Why ain't I a top fan?"
Well, give it time. I don't make the decision as to what top fans are.
I think you might have to look at you have to click on your own profile within the conversation of the live video. And
There you
then
go,
can
Jana. And
select
Sounds
it.
good now.
Becky actually
I don't know
said
what
the same
happened to
thing.
our sound. I don't know what the problem was with that.
Becky Coates said the same thing just now.
Steve, I watch you guys almost daily. Why ain't I a top fan?
Yeah, that's.
Give it time. You may be a top fan next week. The more you interact with us, the more apt. And I think it picks it.
There's a
every
way to
week.
select it. I know. I found it and actually selected it myself.
Start interacting a little more, Jana, I guess is what they're saying.
No, she interacts quite a bit.
She
See all
does.
top fans.
I don't know. Yeah, you do. I can't wait till we get the chance to go up to Michigan to do a live morning drive. That would be so much fun.
Okay, Jana, have you liked Axe Media Group's Facebook page yet? I think that might have something to do with it. I think you have to like Axe Media Group's Facebook page in order to be a top fan on the page. Of course, I'm not sure.
Steve Schultz sent me a text saying no sound, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, no, they all say it's good now, and that was on Facebook, and I don't know what happened.
Well, I'm going to go back and listen to the replay. Anyway,
Wow, we got a lot of top fans. Of course, these are top fans not just for our show, but also for just all of our posts and stuff in general. Sissy Brooks has been a top fan for 2 months.
how long have I been one?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let me see. I need to
Well, I interact quite a bit. Well, I don't
Steve-O,
type.
Mickey Mac. Oh, yeah, you've been a top fan for 3 months now.
Yeah, and you told me what author was, but I forgot what that was. Because I
what is that?
text a lot during the show or I interact.
Yeah. All right. So, but we love our top fans. I'm going to see if there's a way to give you top fan status.
Yeah, you'll have to search Facebook.
But you have to like Axe Media Group's Facebook page first. That'll make it easier. No, I don't think I have. I'll try. Good. We want you to like Axe Media Group. Becky says, I have liked Axe Media page. Well, and Becky, you have been a top fan, and you've been a top fan for quite a while. It may not show it this week, but I think it puts the badges up every week. Becky, you're a top fan regardless.
Yes.
That's right.
Um,
Whether it's noted or not, we think of you as a top fan.
you are a top fan.
Yes.
She goes. Jana says, "It's okay. I love you guys anyways."
Yeah, we love you.
Okay, so I had a guy tell me. All right, so I was talking to this guy, and I talk to him a lot. I try to witness to him as much as possible, and we were talking about how I used to cuss so much because the other guys that were in an area near mine, they were dropping the F-bomb left and right and loud. They do that all the time, and it's like, every time I hear the word, it's a physical movement of my body. I'm like, it.
I hear you.
But he was talking. He's known me since before I rededicated my life, and he said it, and I didn't even think about it. And I shouldn't even talk. I don't want to sound like I'm not boasting in any way. It just surprises me. He said, "Matt, you helped me stop cussing." It's like, how did I do that? Well, and I'll get to the point of this. It's not. I'm not special because of this.
Right.
But he said he noticed the way I was changing my life and the way I was changing even my language and stuff. And I don't say that I was changing, and I say my relationship with Jesus. The closer I get to Jesus, the more you don't want to talk like that or do that or go back to your old ways. And he was following that lead. So now neither one of us cuss. And the point is people are watching you whether you realize it or not. And we got to be careful how we act. We talked about this, I think, yesterday. Like if somebody sees me leading worship at First Baptist Church on Freeway at First on Friday nights, and then Saturday night they were to see me at a bar completely hammered, they'd think, oh, well, he's a worship leader and he's doing this, so it must be okay.
Exactly. That's where your testimony goes down the toilet.
I think that swearing is just a horrible form of communication. I mean, think about it. Okay, so let's come up with a scenario, right? Somebody says, me and somebody else don't get along. Somebody else notices. They say, "What's up with that? What's up with you and that guy? He's a jerk." Right?
Right.
There you go. That describes it, right? Or, well, I've tried to reach out to him and talk to him and be friendly with him, and the way he reacts is this and that. And, so then when you describe something without using foul language, you have to find words that actually describe the situation, or you have to recount something in detail. And those details about a situation that you find yourself communicating or thinking about, instead of using foul language, allow you to better think about your own conduct and to in more detail recount a situation, and it allows you to be able to make changes based on the details and what you might be able to do better. When you just use a foul language, you cut out all the detail of the situation, and there's no chance to recount something. when you use those foul words, I just
Cuss
think it's
words?
a really bad form of communication
And
that
I'm
helps
being
us to not think.
And in all seriousness, cuss words are actually dangling participles.
They actually are.
Yes, meaning that you could take a cuss word out of a sentence, and the sentence does not lose its value in any way, shape, or form. It means the exact same thing. A dangling participle is an unnecessary descriptive word in the middle of a sentence that could be taken away, and the sentence still have the same meaning.
I dealt with that for years. Obviously, the Navy, the military, that's a given. But a friend of mine, well, Rachel, she used to work with this young lady at another establishment in Branson, and she's like, "How come you don't swear?" And she's like, "Because first of all, I don't need to. There's no reason to. I'm a Christian." And she stood up for it. And well, she said, "So do I, but I swear." And so she goes, "Why don't you swear more often? You know what? It's okay if you can swear." I mean, she actually said that to Rachel. I was like,
Well, it's not okay. The fact
No,
is,
it
Jesus
isn't.
Christ
That-
himself said to give up all foul language.
because then that just brings your testimony
him?
down. And she said
Yeah.
that would ruin my testimony.
He's not talking about turkey calls and duck calls.
No, he's not.
And so she's like, I need to keep myself pure before the Lord, and I can't be doing that if I'm swearing, and there's no reason for me to swear. If
What's that do for our testimony?
And sometimes, it does happen. We're all human. It does happen once in a while if we go, instead of dang, we say this. Or even I've heard that.
Yeah,
if
nobody's
you use-
perfect.
If you say dang or gosh,
You stub your toe, you're not thinking
I
about.
think it's a cheap form of communication. Even adjectives are a cheap form of communication.
Right.
You can use adjectives to describe somebody or something where they tend to become more of a label. It's a cheap and lazy way to talk about something, and when we do that, we cut out the possibility of finding common ground. Like even gun control and gun laws. Somebody might say, "Hey, I'm against guns, and I think we should get rid of them all." Right? Well, we know where our perspective lies in that.
It also has to do with the spirit behind the word is a very negative one.
Well, also somebody who believes in gun control also may have been in a position where a lawfully owned gun was misused or went off by accident, and their ideals just may be a little bit different. If by talking about it and not cheapening our language and using adjectives to name somebody something, we can find out what the reason behind a person's feelings and beliefs are, and then try to come to some common ground. When we cheapen language to such.
And I've been called a fruit inspector because
What is that?
a fruit,
Where
being
you
the
go and
fruits
you
of the
inspect
spirit.
fruit. Oh,
The
okay.
fruits, and being called a fruit inspector. I never heard that term until I talked to this person. Well, she was telling me that because she would go to church, she would be there praising the Lord, worshiping and everything, and then that afternoon, she'd be swearing like a sailor, and I'm like, whoa, 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 where's all this coming from? And she's like, what?
And I'm sure there are
she
sailors
acted like
out
she
there that
was
don't
okay
cuss.
with it, and I was like, you shouldn't be doing that. And she goes, who made you a fruit inspector? I was like, I'm not a fruit
I
inspector.
guess I ought to know the reference. Jesus said to give up all foul language, and anybody that says that who calls themselves a Christian, I mean, I understand people swear, and I'm not like, I can correct somebody, but when it comes right down to it, look, Jesus said to give up all foul language. So if you're a Christian, that should be your motive, not to excuse it, but to say, you know what, it is wrong. I'm going to do my best to stop it. And then in the result of not swearing is that you're going to find words to better describe what you're feeling and what you're thinking.
And if you're mad enough, you might accidentally do it and just say, you know what, Lord, forgive me. I shouldn't have done that, or I
Well,
shouldn't
then
have
there's
said that.
also okay. So let's say you go over into another country, and a cuss word to us is not a cuss word to them, but they have a word very similar. If you know what that word is, don't say, "Oh, well, that's not a cuss word, so I can say it all I want." To them, that's a cuss word, so you shouldn't say it then either. It's all
respect
about the
them.
spirit
I think
behind it.
context is important.
Absolutely.
If you're using it as a cuss word, it's a cuss word.
Now let's do a little bit of a commercial.
Okay. Hey, that sounds great.
Commercial time.
I know what. I hope. What commercial is this?
Natural Solution Store.
.bz.
BZ.
Obsession. I beat you.
Possessive. Possession.
What was? Hey, guess what? We don't have a camera for you.
Oh.
Yeah, your camera's not
so
there.
you're just gonna have to do this
Hey,
with us all.
with
All right.
everybody's desk.
We're all on this. We're all in this commercial.
We're all in this one on YouTube. But right now, all y'all are seeing is just my handsome face.
There you are.
Wow.
Anyways, today's show is brought to you by Natural Solution Store.bz. The product I want to talk about today is liver cleanse. And I'm not talking about stuff that you run over a liver before you cook it and eat it. I'm talking about...
that's-
I don't like liver anyways.
Yuck. Liver and onions.
Yuck.
Yeah, I'm just
Hold the
kidding.
liver. All right, so my question is this. Do you feel lethargic, bloated, have weight gain, make or regularly consume alcohol, smoke or regularly consume alcohol? I guess you could make it too nowadays. Anyways, well, you may need a liver support supplement, Steve. Easy and gentle, only 2 capsules per day. No handful of horse pills like some of the other brands. You should gradually feel an increase in energy, better overall health, and improved mental clarity. Because, you know, if you have a clean liver, you can have a cleaner brain. So rapidly repair, protect, and detoxify. Now, regular exposure to environmental toxins such as cigarette smoke, alcohol, and poor diet, medications, and working in polluted spaces. Or, you know, if you happen to be around somebody that passes gas a lot, that probably is considered a toxin. Anyways, this can overwork your liver. I don't know about the farting part, but common symptoms of an overworked liver include lethargy or lethargy. How do you say lethargy or lethargy? We'll say lethargy.
Lethargy.
Feeling bloated, having weight gain, low immunity, insomnia, emotional outburst, and digestive upset. Sorry, emotional outburst.
Wow, that was a good. What
Liver
an
Cleanse will
outburst.
help to bring your liver back into balance by providing effective cleansing and aids to restore the nutrients that are
be
depleted.
okay.
So, if you think you might need something to cleanse your liver today, go online www.naturalsolutionstore.bz and get yourself a bottle of Liver Cleanse today. Back to you guys.
So Jenna says she knows devoted Christians who swear like sailors, and does that make them hypocrites? No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, I guess.
Again, it depends.
I guess in some way it does, but we're all hypocrites. We're all sinners.
Yeah.
The problem is when somebody who swears tries to justify it and say it's okay. If Jesus said to give up all foul language.
No, online they
Now,
do.
we can find all kinds of ways to say, oh, it's not foul language or this or that or this, that, but the fact is we know what it is. We know what he meant, and if he said it, we should try to obey it. So I don't think the problem is as much in the swearing as it is saying that it's okay.
Hey, Marcia, you are a top fan. You actually have that badge above your name. So you are it says you're a top fan. So if you'll just kind of see your name and look just above it, there it is.
Susan Burrows just said, I used to be a top fan. I have liked the Axe Media Facebook page. I watched the other shows and liked them and commented, but still not listed as top fan.
Well, Susan Burrows has been listed as a top fan before.
Right.
They don't, you know, I don't know exactly what the algorithm is for it because I don't have it. The only thing I can control
I
is
know
taking
I
the badge
selected
off
it once.
Right.
on your own to make yourself a top fan.
Yeah.
How could you do that?
It was on a show. I don't remember how I did it. I remember finding it and selecting it. So I don't know.
More than 24 missiles hit 2 Iraqi military bases, MSNBC just said. So that must have just happened.
Fart is a slang word for passing gas. So Larry says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be very cautious about justifying foul language.
Yeah.
Jesus said not to do it. We know what it is. If we're doing
That
it,
doesn't mean just cuss words either.
right.
I mean, I say stuff that grosses people out sometimes.
There's colorful language without saying the F-bomb or anything
Like I was talking
that.
to somebody about me being in the shower listening to my headphones, you know, and sudsing up, listening to music and dancing in the shower. I guess that's not really appropriate because I'm sure a lot of people don't want to imagine that at all. But
Right.
when you can listen to your earbuds in the shower, it's
That-
hard
that-
not to dance in the shower.
That's
Just
a
don't hurt
good,
yourself.
clean way of saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say if you use a lot of foul language, try giving it up and see how your speech changes. I think people will understand what you're thinking and feeling better.
Or if you're a
They'll
professional,
be able to relate
especially.
more closely to what your actual circumstances are and maybe have better advice or be able to help more in a situation that's frustrating you or upsetting you or with a person who's upsetting you or making you angry. I mean, all the reasons that we have for using foul language are all genuine. The problem is if we use the foul language, we cut out everything that there is in our language that we can use to describe something.
cheapens
and
whatever
to,
you're
and
saying.
and to find help for something or advice for something. I mean, think about the reasons that you use foul language. What's a circumstance that you would use a foul word?
When you're really mad about somebody, or
When you stub your pinky toe.
that in the middle of the
Stub your
night,
pinky
or you just get into a fight and it escalates
Or
to
when
the point.
people need a high five to
So
the
you
face.
stub your pinky toe. You use a foul word.
Sometimes it happens.
What could you
That-
replace the foul word with?
Son of a biscuit.
Why
Come
not?
on, it's
Why
in
not?
my bone.
Why can't we shout out, "Ow, that hurt"?
Or son of a
Leslie
biscuit.
Klein.
Think
But
about
that's
it.
too
If you
close.
stub
That
your
is too
pinky
close.
toe, somebody's in the other room, and you just
Good morning.
yell out a cuss word.
Mr. Jim Whining, Dr. Jim Whining, welcome to the program.
Welcome
Hope
to the
you're
program.
enjoying South Padre Islands
Yeah.
out there. South
Enjoying-
Padre Islands,
yes.
enjoying the weather.
Probably
you stub
nice
your
and
toe.
warm and
Yeah.
toasty and.
You can say ow. Usually it's more like
So you stubbed your toe, you holler out a foul. You stubbed your toe, you holler out a foul word. How could you not use the foul word? That's the most basic.
I'm sure there is a way to do it. You just got to know how to do it.
How about "ow, that hurt"?
Yeah, that's
If you're
true.
and think about language. If you're in the other room,
Jay, you described it great. That's what
you
Jana
holler out a foul word.
Right.
What does that tell me about what just happened in the other room?
says. Jonathan Kritzman says it opens you up
could,
to more
you
sin.
can open up your imagination to anything.
That's a good point. Jonathan Kritzman said it opens you up to more sin.
Yep. And then you're a bad testimony to that person in the other room, because then all of a sudden they look at you as a professional person. Then you're in the other room. Like if you're in an office in a, not a waiting room, or a waiting room and or a kitchen in an office area, and something happens, you burn yourself and you go, oh, and then you say something, all of a sudden your professionalism just goes right down the toilet.
Unless your name is
What if you just accidentally
Gordon
cut
Ramsay.
your finger off? And you holler out a cuss word.
Well,
You know what I mean? What if all I ever hear from the other room is cuss words? I don't know if you cut your finger off, if you're just angry. Basically, I'm just assuming that you have you use foul language.
And
So
some
that doesn't tell me anything. If you are, and this is the least.
Jana says, dang it.
This is the and this is the most
right, Jana.
basic thing about communication. So this doesn't even involve another person, like if you're angry or anything like that. This is just you by yourself, maybe getting hurt or frustrated or something like that.
oh yeah.
If you holler out from the other room, this
Boolio, welcome to the
can't
party.
I can't get this printer to work.
Uncle Ray.
If I know how to get the printer to work, I can say, hey, I'll be right there. If you just holler out a cuss word, I don't know if you stubbed your toe, I don't know if something fell on you, I don't know if you cut your finger, I don't know if the printer won't work. I have no idea what's happening in the other room. You cut out the opportunity for somebody else who may be able to contribute to whatever it is,
That's a good great definition.
and that's the most basic one that doesn't even involve the difficulties that there's a real communication attempt between two people, or a hostility or a problem between two people. When we start using foul language, we eliminate all the language that might bring us to a place where we can resolve those things.
And some people say that they use it in everyday life. That was me gurgling earlier.
I really didn't mean to hit that button. I didn't know
sure.
the volume was up so loud. I was trying to find the beep sensor beep
But that was a good beat.
Jenny, oh, dang it.
because that's
you know,
usually
yeah.
what.
Usually you when you say things, you might use some four-letter words in just general language, and you're not mad at all. You just happen to say, oh, this or oh, that.
Larry says holly crack.
Well, here's another thing. I'm at work.
Holly
I'm a
instead of holy
cashier.
crap.
I have people come in who are consistently grumpy and nasty and not very kind and difficult to deal with. I have other coworkers who would call them a foul word and do. to describe them. They
That's-
won't interact with that
that's true,
person at all.
Steve.
But by interacting with that person, by eliminating foul language, and when I'm talking with somebody about that person, or something comes up about about that person, I can describe to them why that person and I have a strained situation. And by talking about it, well, every time they come in here, they're angry with me. They won't, they just swipe their card when I haven't pushed the button yet. I can go through all the descriptions about how it is. And by going through that process, I can try to head it off at the pass. I can try to interject something at a different time that might relieve the stress of the situation. Or I can come to the conclusion, instead of saying this person's a jerk, and then that's it, and I'm done even trying to relate to my fellow human, I can say, every time you come in here, you're nasty with me, and I don't understand why. Because all I want to do is serve you and make sure that you get everything that you have, everything that you're here to get, as quickly as possible, and have the best product that we have to offer you. And so every time you come in, and I've done this,
Morning,
that can
Leslie Klein.
immediately change a situation. A lot of people don't even realize they're being that way.
Now, Leslie Klein says, what about the example that it sets for children? They hear and repeat everything at a very young age. She says, my daughter repeated my curse word I used after stunning my toe. She meant stubbing, sorry. Stubbing my toe within 10 minutes. They do. They're parrots. They're little parrots.
Yep. It does happen. In daycare, wow.
Now,
They'll even say stuff without mom and dad around, and where'd you get that? Oh, my mom said that this morning.
what do you say when you hit your finger with a hammer? Ow?
I
Well,
would
believe it
think
or
so.
not, you can change that.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dad, he got to where he was saying, sacre bleu, which I don't know. That may be French for something that's a curse word.
Well, it's how the brain works. That's why I'm saying it's a
Like how he says,
lazy.
you little sacre bleu. Where are you, you little sacre bleu?
But that's how you change the
Sounds
way the
French.
brain works. When you use foul
Sounds
language,
France.
you're using a lazy way to communicate. When you start to eliminate foul language from your words, you start to think through situations. So even when you hit your finger, the first thing that comes to mind is not always a cuss word if you've been eliminating them. The first thing that starts to come to mind is what actually has happened.
Yeah.
Oh, my finger.
Like, ow, that hurt.
Jenna says, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Yeah.
So now we're coming. Now apparently, people are listing stuff that you can replace cuss words with.
Well, I don't think that
Well, I'll be
replaces
a monkey's uncle.
If you have anything that you can contribute as far as
That's
anything
bananas.
other than, please let us know or please comment.
I think,
Yeah.
I think everybody's
They're
Good
chiming
morning,
having
in.
a
Jake.
lot of fun
It's
with
good
it.
to see you. Thomas Jacob is Jacob, a guy I worked with for years. He is clean and sober now. Him and I don't know if is she your wife yet. If you want her to be, come see me. We'll talk about it. Anyways, so yeah, cuss words. Try and scoop those out of your life. That makes it,
Yep.
it does. It really does. It cheapens whatever it is you're trying to say. It does cheapen it.
And
Yeah.
it makes you unprofessional.
And hitting your finger with a hammer and using a foul word means that you think it's okay. I mean, if you use a foul word in that situation, yeah, I mean, we do train ourselves to use foul
Like
words.
when
in
Jay's
that.
a mechanic.
Right, exactly.
We've talked about that on the air. You said, I'm not a mechanic.
But for me to say, you know what, when I'm a
But I cuss
mechanic,
like
it
one.
just comes out. There's nothing
Yeah.
I can do about it. That's like saying, well, Jesus was wrong.
right.
If you want to say that, then say it, and then we'll have a real
Larry
conversation
says-
about what the problem would.
Larry says, when I hit my finger, I say, I'm not going to do that again.
I shout out,
the-
ouch.
I
Sometimes I
would,
cuss.
the brain would tell me to say, ouch, that hurts.
I'm pretty sure everybody here has stubbed their toes, smashed their finger,
Put their finger in the door.
been hit in between the legs, and it's hard not to cuss whenever something like that happens because it hurts really bad.
It does.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't ever cuss.
No,
Sometimes
no,
I do.
nobody's
what
perfect.
I'm saying is, we can't justify it and say it's okay
Right.
under any circumstances.
Right, right.
Jesus
Right.
said, "Give up all foul language." There is no justification.
And all
for it.
perverted speech, perverted
Yes.
talk.
There is no
So
justification
it's not just
for it.
swear words. It's just it's just dirty jokes.
Yeah, like a man fell in a mud puddle.
Now that's dirty.
That is a dirty joke.
And we can say, hey, you know what? We cut all that stuff out, and then what are we? Just standing there speechless with nothing to say. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe you'd feel that way if all you do is swear. But if you start to cut foul language out of your language, what you actually find is that you start to communicate better and more clearly. And when you do speak, people understand what you're saying and relate more closely to it.
I don't know if it's a myth or not. You know, when you're in the military, you always say, well, man, you swear like a sailor, or, you know, you're in the military and you do pick up swearing. Well, it does happen because, yes, I did swear at one time in the military. And when I say one time, I mean it was hard not to, because you're around it so much that it catches on.
Colossians chapter 3.
So we just have to. But once I started cleaning up my act and I really got saved while I was in the military, there went the swear words. I mean,
All right.
So
Yeah.
Not carnality, but Christ.
Do you still find yourself swearing sometimes?
If then-
like if you hit your finger with a hammer, or you're doing a frustrating job,
or somebody cut you off.
I got some scripture reference here for you.
Right.
Colossians chapter 3.
Okay.
If then you were raised with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ is, sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not on the things of the earth. For you died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is our life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Therefore put to death your members which are on earth: fornication, uncleanliness, passion, evil desire, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Because of these things, the wrath of God is coming upon the sons of disobedience, in which you yourselves once walked when you lived in them. But now you yourselves are to put off all of these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on a new man who is renewed in knowledge according to the image of him who created him. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcised nor uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave nor free, but Christ is all and in all.
And that's the scripture of the day.
Christ is all and in all. No, that's not the scripture of the day. That's just, I was looking that up.
Well,
Because-
that's scripture for me
Should
for
be.
today.
The character of a new man. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, you also must do. So you also must do. But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body. And be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him.
Amen.
Boom.
Yep.
As Steve Schultz would say, mic drop.
You also said that an opportunity arose from your changing your language to witness and to testify of God and his work in your life, and that
And I
he
didn't even
is
know it was happening.
our Savior. I did at work too. I don't swear. I mean, I do swear, but I mean, it's something I am removing from my language. So rarely do people hear me swear. And then at work, one day I swore. Everybody that I work with immediately turned their heads and went, oh.
Yep.
They just talk that way themselves without even noticing. But when I said it, they did.
Right.
And then that brought up opportunity to say, well, Jesus said to give up all
Hey,
foul
Tony.
language, and so that's what I try to do, and I'm sorry for swearing.
Tony Hammock is
Right,
back
it
in
was-
the saddle today.
Yes, after a long vacation.
He needed time off,
but
didn't he?
well deserved, right, Tony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Represent Christ and what he's asked of us, not yourself and your own liberty to speak as you please.
Because, Christ never said a cuss word.
No.
Yeah, that's and
Period.
by the way, Susan said she says, "Oh, petunias."
Right.
Jana says, son of a, and it's got parentheses, whistle. Son of a,
Okay.
even though still, we also need to really look into our hearts, and the spirit in which we say these words is just as bad as the cuss word themselves. Because if you're saying it in anger towards somebody, like if you want to call them an idiot or beep idiot, regardless of what word you use, it's not right.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think replacing the same manner of speech with other words to mask what you're doing.
God
I
hears
don't.
the
I
same.
think that's still.
That's
a
it
cuss.
exactly.
So
I think finding a way to actually
Don't they
accurately
call that
speak.
slang?
yeah, that's what Larry Melton said earlier. Said fart is slang for passing gas. So,
Yeah.
anyways, it's time for us to get out of here, folks.
Man, already. I'm telling you, every time, it just seems like it goes faster and faster.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Hey, the half-hour shows have been really pulling it off. I mean, they've been doing great.
Well,
Good.
Thank you.
Let's see that.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the morning drive today. We will be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Just remember to go online, naturalsolutionstore.bc, and check out all the stuff that they have on there. I need to get better at doing our commercials on time.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
starting on time.
Yeah.
Finishing on time.
Yeah.
Everything on time, on
Yeah.
time. So, until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
and this has been
The
Morning Drive.
Morning Drive.